Hey, what's up, high fantasy fans? This is Kev from Bridge 4. Today I'm going to go over a very fun, easy book by R.A. Salvatore called The Crystal Shard. It is book 1 of the Icewind Dale trilogy, and this trilogy is actually books 4, 5, and 6 of the larger series called The Legend of Drizzt. You can read the Dark Elf trilogy or the Icewind Dale trilogy first, but since R.A. Salvatore wrote Icewind Dale first, I'd recommend to start with this book, The Crystal Shard. As usual, I am only reviewing books that I enjoy, so instead of doing ratings on a scale of 5 or 10, since the books are all going to be something like 7.5 or higher, I decided to create my own scale from fun to amazing. I was tempted to rate The Crystal Shard fun, but I'm going to go with good. It's only about 100,000 words, so it's a very light lift. You can read it in a couple sittings. I typically read or reread Legend of Drizzt books between heavier lifts like Malazan or Stormlight Archive. The only reason I classify this as good and not something higher is because it's pretty easy. It's nothing mind-blowing, but don't get me wrong, it's a ton of fun. I've read it twice and audiobooked it 3 times. The Audible narrator, Victor Bavine, does a great job in my opinion. As far as the mood or the tone of the story, I rated it as fun. It's definitely not dark at all. Even when the bad guys are around, I still get the feeling that it's like sunny out, if you know what I mean. But keep in mind, I'm talking about the feel of the book. It just feels sunnier than books like Malazan. The setting of the story, though, it takes place in a very brutal place, the frozen tundra of Icewind Dale. You could probably call this book PG-13, but I decided to go with the fun classification just to be safe, since there are a few graphic descriptions within the fight scenes. The story is very different from The Lord of the Rings, but it has some similarities in style. The story is fairly linear. It is really easy to follow. There are good guys and bad guys, and within the good guys there are various factions that have issues with one another. Unlike The Lord of the Rings, the Crystal Shard has humans, elves, dwarves, dragons, demons, orcs, goblins, and wizards, pretty much the standard fantasy tropes. But the one thing that is not standard are the fight scenes. R.A. Salvatore is a master of choreographing his fight scenes. They are a ton of fun. In just 300 pages, R.A. Salvatore was able to cram in a lot of small and large battles. This book doesn't have mature scenes or political scheming. It's more tailored around introductions to a handful of characters that we'll see throughout the trilogy. One of the characters, Drizzt, is a dark elf. This elf is one of my favorite high fantasy characters ever. Technically, you could read this book as a standalone, but the next book in the series is pretty awesome. So if you like this one, do yourself a favor and continue reading the rest of the Icewind Dale trilogy. So that's it for now. I definitely recommend this book and the trilogy as a whole. If you like this review, like, share, and subscribe for future reviews. For now, this is Kev from Bridge 4. I'll speak to you soon. I'm out.